Hello, and welcome to the Hybrid X Destringing and Restringing tutorial by Wyvern Creations. Take the center of the stringer and pass it through the riser over the main string and bring it to the trigger assembly. Pull the stringer back towards the rear of the bow firmly so the trigger latches onto the stringer. Slide the safety into the safe position. Push forward on the trigger release lever to release the slider, then bring it down to the front riser. Take the stringer loops and put them onto the designated grooves on the limb tips. Slide the crank handle into the drive. Turn the crank clockwise while ensuring the stringer is resting above the cams and positioned in the grooves at the front of the riser. Do this till there is no slack. Once there is no slack remaining, continue cranking until it latches. Back crank 3 times. Rotate the cams to give some slack to the cables, then remove them from the limb tips. Now we need to decock the crossbow to relieve tension on the limbs. Apply pressure to the trigger release lever while turning the crank clockwise till the lever is released. While holding the lever forward, back crank the trigger down the rail. Take the stringer loops off the limb tips and pull them through the riser to get them out of the way. This will make the restring process much easier. Pull the main string back, rotating the cams, then remove the end loops from their posts and then remove the whole string. Take the ends of the cables and pass them through their respective triangular parts of the riser. If you over-rotated the cams and the cable ends are out in the front, you can still move them back through. Take the top and bottom of the cables and pull them apart. This will rotate the cams into the release position. Once the cables are unwound from the cam grooves, simply pull to remove them from the bow. The crossbow is now destrung. To start restringing your bow, spin the cams so the alignment arrows line up with the pass-through slot. Take your cables and compress one end so it can slide through the marked pass-through slot in the cams. Pass the compressed end through until half of the cable is out the bottom of the cams. Following the direction arrow on the cams, rotate till the top and bottom cables are through the front of the riser. Once the cables are through the front of the riser, pull them back towards the rear of the bow, rotating the cams in the opposite direction until the cables are fully engaged. Take the center of the main string and lay it on the rail. Then take the end loops of the main string and bring them all the way around in between the top and bottom cables, and then bring them through the riser. Snap the end loops of the main string onto their posts and then make sure the main string is correctly seated in the groove. Take the loops of the stringer that we left on the bow back through the front riser and then put them back onto the limb tips. Crank back and latch the bow, making sure the stringer stays in the grooves at the front of the riser and is above the cams. Back crank 3 times. Install the ends of the cables back onto their slots at the ends of the limb tips. Make sure to pass the loops through the large loop of the stringer. The cams may need to be rotated slightly for extra slack. Decock the crossbow once again. Slide the safety into the fire position. Remove the stringer by pressing the latch release lever under the trigger. To make sure the bow has been successfully restrung, we're going to want to cock the crossbow. Push the trigger mechanism forward till it latches onto the main string. Slide the safety back into safe. Crank back and cock the bow, checking if the cables are all seated correctly. Decock the crossbow and verify the timing is correct by ensuring the cables fall between the dots on the cams. The crossbow has now been successfully restrung.